So yeah, so last class we have discussed anonymous block and procedures, and you know what is procedure. So something we are writing here. Okay, an anonymous block are known as procedure. We can say these are the procedures, but they don't have the name, so that you cannot store them permanently and utilize it again. And yeah, we have seen how to print the message on console on Oracle. Okay, but for that you have to make some make you have to change one server property, that is set server output on. So in that case you are saying to DBMS, you are saying to database engine that enable these all the print messages, all the print statements. Okay, and we have seen couple of examples. Okay, almost all the examples are finished. So yeah, any confusion in that whatever we have discussed so far? Anybody? Okay, so what we will do, we will start the store procedure. Okay, so store procedure syntax is very simple. Okay, what is store procedure? The procedure which is having the name. Okay, the procedure which should have some name. So later point in time, whenever you want to utilize your block of code. So suppose in last class we have seen some examples, right? These are some examples, but this is only for one time. Once this code is executed, you cannot access this code or you cannot use this functionality again. So this is the disadvantage. Okay, so for what we can do here is, instead of instead of not defining any name here, we will define the name also for this particular block of code. Okay, for this anonymous block we are just providing the name, and this procedure will be known as then stored procedure. Okay, so the syntax is very simple. See here, already we have seen begin statements and slash. This is we have already seen. Before begin, okay, before begin, we can declare the variables also here. Okay, so here explicitly you no need to say declare. Okay, earlier, if I want to, declare the variable, you can say, or you have to write declare, right? But here declare is not required. Only the syntax create or replace, and this is the optional. These are the optional parentheses, square braces I'm using here. Okay, create or replace. If the stored procedure is already exist, okay, in that case it will replace that stored procedure with the new name. Okay, we'll see that. So this is the optional syntax. If you don't want to use, you don't I mean, if you don't want to use, don't use it. Okay, just say create and procedure. But sometime, okay, sometime while developing our code, okay, while developing our, these stored procedures, okay, sometime we want to update the existing one. In that case we can go for create or replace. Okay, create or replace is optional. Okay, so yeah, and procedure name and parameters. Okay, and as or is, this is the syntax. So this line you have to write, instead of declare you have to write this line. That's it. Okay, apart from that everything is same almost. Clear? So see here. So here I am creating the procedure. Create procedure. Procedure name is P1. Procedure name is P1. Okay, there are few variables I am defining here. Okay, you can define here as well as you can define here. But what is the use while defining here? So it depends. Okay, so sometime sometime you want to, pass some argument while calling the stored procedure, while calling this function. Okay, while calling this stored procedure p1, while calling itself, you want to provide some parameters, you want to provide some arguments. Okay, so in that case we can define the parameters here. Okay, and these parameters we can use in our code somewhere. Okay, see here. So we are taking these input from user. Okay, and I want to calculate the average of these three numbers. Okay, I want to calculate the average of these three numbers. So generally create procedure p1 and a int b, all these three parameters I'm taking as integer types. That means whenever user will call this p1, user have to provide these three values, and all values must be of type int because we are declaring here as int. Clear? So create procedure p1 a b c, as here you can declare some more variables. So now here you can declare some more variables. Okay, so like sum, average. Okay, I have taken the one sm and ab. So this to just to store some temporary variable, just to store some temporary value, I'm using sum and ab, and here begin, and after that sum is equal to all the parameters I'm taking from here. Okay, and these values will be provided by user. So sum is equal to a plus b plus c, average is equal to sum upon 3. As we know, there are three numbers only. So a plus b plus c upon 3. Clear? Yeah. So I don't think there is any problem. Okay. So already we are here. Here we can see dbms underscore output dot put underscore line sum is equal to sm and average is equal to average, and here and doubt in this. Okay. So now if I want to execute this procedure, because once this procedure is created, immediately it will not start executing. Okay, like early, unlike uh, anonymous block, as soon as you are just writing this slash and pressing enter, immediately it will start executing. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Okay, so unlike anonymous procedures, as soon as you will press this slash, okay, and once you will press enter, immediately it will start executing your anonymous block. But here this procedure whatever you have created is p1. Okay, it will not execute, it will not start executing immediately. Okay, it will not start executing immediately. So once you create this procedure, after that you have to call it explicitly. Okay, so there is a way how you can call. So to execute the procedure, there is a way. Call p1, and we have to pass the three numbers 10, 20, 30. So already we know what is the name of the procedure, p1. So call p1 10, 20, 30, and the output would be sum is equal to 60, average is equal to 20. Clear? Similarly, this is a syntax for MySQL. Now we'll see some MySQL stuff. Okay. So see here, we have to write delimiter. Okay, and delimiter dollar. Now you create the procedure. Create procedure p1. Okay, create procedure p1. So some example we will see. Okay, then you can see here the example delimiter dollar. So if you don't want to provide any input, okay, If you don't want to provide any parameter, you just leave it as blank. Okay, and then begin and some value. Okay, and at last you have to write and dollar and delimiter. Okay, so some procedure name p1. Okay, begin. Now we have to write select some message. Welcome to PL SQL world. Or you can write welcome to procedures. Okay, at last you have to say and dollar. So what it is saying, there is no database selected. Why it is saying? Because if there is no database selected, where this procedure will be stored. Clear? So in this case, first use Java puzzles underscore db. Okay, okay. So yeah, so at last semicolon will not work to terminate. Okay, you if you want to come out from that mode, you have to press delimiter again. Dollar. Dollar is the delimiter. Okay. Now there is one DB called JavaPuzzles. Use what is the problem? Unknown database. JavaPuzzles DB. Okay, I have to change the again delimiter value to colon. Then only again and again I no need to type dollar. If you want to change the delimiter value, there is a command delimiter and dollar, some special symbol, whatever you want to give. So it will take that one. So now I will say use okay. Now we will see these many tables are present. Okay, so what we will write, delimiter. I want to change the delimiter to dollar first. Okay, then you create the procedure. Create the procedure. Okay, begin, select, welcome to stored procedure. Okay, as message. See here, if I'm pressing now this semicolon, it is not terminating. Okay, it is still in same mode. And okay, and then dollar. Okay, so this your stored procedure is created. Your stored procedure is created. Now I want to call this. So if you want to call this, you have to change the delimiter to colon. Then you call proper. Any doubt, guys? How we can call the stored procedure? How to create the procedure? It's very simple only. Clear? Okay. So we will see a few examples and then we'll move further. So syntax is very simple in MySQL and in Oracle also. Okay, the syntax is pretty simple. In Oracle, you have to write create or replace, procedure, procedure name, and the parameters. And here in MySQL, in Oracle, or replace is optional. Okay, and remaining things are almost same. Clear? Yeah. And yes, before writing this procedure, you have to change your delimiter also. So you have to write always delimiter dollar, just to change the delimiter from colon to dollar. Okay, so let's suppose if I want to change the delimiter to hash. Now delimiter has been changed to hash. So create procedure proc2. Okay, begin, select some message as some message I'm just writing, and dollar, and at last hash. Okay, your procedure is created. So now if I want to call, I have to change the delimiter from hash to colon, right? So now you can call proc 2. Because why I'm changing this delimiter to colon again, because while calling, okay, so you have to terminate your syntax, right? So that is the reason this is the way to call them. Okay, so I think this is very simple syntax. There is no problem in this. And one more example we will see. We will take this time some input parameter and we will, uh, see here, delimiter dollar create procedure p2 a int b int. Okay, there are two variables I'm taking. Okay, begin, declare. So here, remaining, already we have seen in MySQL, always whenever you want to declare any variable, you have to write explicitly declare always in every line. If I want to declare a variable, a int, so already a is there. Suppose x variable I want to define, so x int. But unlike Oracle, always you have to write declare here. In Oracle, what we are doing generally, we are just writing declare only once, but in MySQL, always you have to write declare again and again. Okay, as long as you are as long as you are just defining the variable. Okay, clear? So now set as. So this is one, again, the already one variable we have defined as, and we took two parameters. Okay, so we are storing the addition of these two parameters, two variables into s, and I'm just what we are doing, select as sum. Okay, and then dollar. Clear? So now you guys, can you please tell me, if I want to calculate the average, can you please now tell me how to write in MySQL? Unmute yourself if you want and just help me out. I don't know. Guys, please tell me. Hmm? Okay. I don't know whether you guys are listening or not, or just put it your phone aside. Okay, no problem. uh, Delimiter, and I want to change the delimiter from colon to dollar first. Then we have to
Then create procedure.
create procedure
One.
and
Yeah.
Yeah, we will write procedure name.
procedure name. Some procedure name. Let's take suppose procedure 3, and I want to take three parameters. Okay, so what we need to do?
Three parameters of type int, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll write its name, variable name, and its data type.
Okay. Create procedure name and few parameters.
Then begin.
Okay.
Then we will declare the parameters name.
I want to
Is it?
calculate average. What you want to do?
Sorry. So we need to declare variables, right? Sorry, so we need to declare variables. So we will declare some int, right? And similarly declare average int,
But in Oracle, you know the syntax, right? In Oracle, always you don't
right?
have to write declare again and again. Declare sum and one more variable we will take sum. Why we are not taking ABG and sum? Can you please confirm?
Yeah, because it's already a defined function name, right?
Yes. So it's again AVG are the built-in functions. Okay. AVG, sum, max, min, all those functions. So we cannot, use the predefined name. So these two variables we have declared. Now, okay. So in MySQL already we have seen. Okay. In Oracle, what was the print statement? DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line, right? But here we will use simple syntax, select only. Okay. So whatever, suppose if I want to calculate the sum, right? So sum is equal to, here no need to write sum colon is equal to, because that was the Oracle syntax. Here simply sum is equal to x plus y plus z, right? Now sum is there. I want to perform ABG. ABG is equal to sum divided by 3. Clear? And now I want to select. I want to print what I want to print. Select, and what you have to select, ABG. Okay, as average. Oh, sorry. There was one mistake. Okay, again we have to write. 1 minute. Again, we no need to write this delimiter. Okay, already delimiter is dollar only right now. Okay, if I will say colon, so you cannot come out when and as long as you will not say dollar. Okay, now delimiter you no need to say. Create procedure name for 3 x comma y comma z. Okay, begin. Declare, I am declaring two variable. One is sum of type int, again one more ab of type int. Sum is equal to x plus y plus z. Ab is equal to sum divided by 3. Select ab as some heading. Okay, average. Okay, and at last and you have to type delimiter, come out from this procedure. Okay, what happened? Yeah, so here single quote I no need to write, I have to take this in double quote. Okay, so 1 minute, copy paste, let me do. These are very important. Okay, so AB sum divided by 3. Select AB as double quote average and dollar come out from this. Now this time what is the error? Okay, so there is one mistake what we are doing. What is the mistake? Can you tell me? What is the mistake? Can anybody tell in this? Hmm? There is a mistake in this line. Okay, so this sum you always have to say, because you are modifying this, right? To set sm is equal to, so always you have to make sure that always you do this. So again we have to do begin. Okay, set sum is equal to a, not a plus b, x plus y plus z. Okay, and select, but before that set ab is equal to sum divided by 3. Now select AB as average and dollar. What is the problem, guys? Okay.
Maybe we forgot to add semicolon.
No, no, no. 1 minute. There is a spelling mistake here. See.
Oh,
Let me just take it outside. Procedure. Okay. Create procedure prop 3. Begin and declare some variable. Declare AB variable and then set sum is equal to x plus y plus z and set AB is equal to sum divided by 3 and select as select average as, okay, average and dollar. So this is the we will write. Now what is the syntax? What is the error? Corresponding to line 8. Okay, okay, semicolon. So guys, see uh, how many mistakes we are doing. Now this time finally it is created. Okay, now we'll call procedure 3 and let's give some like, numbers, and I want to take the average. Okay, but okay, but if you want, if you will, do this, it will not execute. It will not start executing this because delimiter is dollar. So either way, either you change the delimiter from dollar to semicolon or directly use dollar only here. Clear? So before that we will change delimiter to colon, and then we will say call proc3 some value and semicolon. This time we change the delimiter to colon, okay, semicolon, okay. So now average is 14. So this is how we will, you know, create our procedures. So this is the for sum and this is for average, and yeah, now we will see to execute the procedure. This is the way. So already I have told you the delimiter is used to change the character to indicate end of the statement, okay. To see the procedures, now I want to see how many procedures are there. Okay, so show procedures status. Any typo? See here, there was some typo only. Okay, so see here it is showing something like this. Okay, these many these many stored procedures are there by default. Okay, anyway, so you have to be careful. Let me change this command to no. So it will print the entire table only. So be careful while using this command. Okay. For Oracle, this is the command: select star from all objects where object type in procedures. Okay, and we already know what is this in operator. Okay, so clear, right? Now, as of now, whatever whatever we have seen, whatever store procedure we have seen or we have created, those are without parameter and with parameter. Okay, so there are some parameter type that we will discuss. Okay, so if we want to call any store procedure, you can call like this if it is not having any parameter to provide the data dynamically into the procedure. Okay, to perform the operation you can define the parameter also. Okay, there are some parameter, there are the way to define the parameter type. We will see how many types of how many types of parameters are there. Input parameter, very simple. If you want to, you know, provide some input to your store procedure, always you have to define the input parameter. Output parameter, okay, if you want to return something from, you know, if you want to return something from store procedure, in that case you have to go for output parameter. And input output both, that means your store procedure is taking input also and it is returning some output also. Clear? So input parameter, what it stand for? So you can provide the value to procedure while invoking the execute, while invoking or executing that. Okay, you can provide the value to procedure while invoking it. That's it. By default, parameter type will be input. Optionally, you can change, optionally, you can use in keyword also. Okay, keep in mind. So in Oracle, if you want to define, okay, if you want to define some parameter, so by default, the type of the parameter is input only. Okay, if you're defining any parameter here, a int, I'm not writing any in. See here in B, I am writing explicitly in also. Okay, if you will write in, that is optional thing. But by default, these parameters are input parameters only. Any doubt? Okay, input parameters are basically two, indicating that these are the input parameters. You can provide the value, or you can provide some input values to your procedure. Okay, and later point in time you can use them. So here you can see this procedure I have written here create or replace. So this time this syntax is also, just be careful. In Oracle, create or replace is optional if this procedure p2 is already exist. Okay, and if you are using or replace, in that case it will be replaced by your new procedure whatever you are writing here. Okay, so p2 a comma b. So two input parameters I am taking here, and what I am doing here, s is equal to a plus b dvms underscore output dot put underscore line sum is this, and at last and then slash. Okay, so these are the default, you can say these are the parameters, and the default type of the parameters are input. So the default parameter type will be input. Optionally you can use in keyword also. Okay. Okay, so now uh, what they are doing, where they are just creating one table called, you know proc table, and just they will use this table somewhere, I'll tell you. Now for MySQL, the what is the command? Int. Okay, so here just be careful. In the Oracle you have to specify in inside the middle, but in MySQL you have to specify at the beginning, and then variable name and type. Okay, create procedure 3 in, and it is indicating that this is the input parameter, and b. Okay, begin, declare as, and calculating the sum value, select as sum, printing this, printing the sum value, that's it. Okay, and at last changing the delimiter to colon and calling this function, calling this procedure. Any doubt in this? We will call this now. Let's see. Clear? Delimiter is changed. Now call this p3. If we will call this p3, it will give incorrect number of argument. Okay, so you have to provide the argument also. How many number of arguments you have to provide? A comma b, 12 comma sum. Okay, and it will print the sum. Okay, so by default the parameters type of the parameter type are input type only. Okay, now what they are doing here is they are just creating the table, proc table id int primary key auto increment. Okay, so already you know that what is this auto increment. It's a just sequence name varchar fees is float auto increment y. I want to start the auto increment value from 101, and from 101 onward I want to insert some record. Okay, let me just create this table. Okay, so this table is created. Show tables. So this table is there, proc table. Okay, select description. I want to see description proc table. There are only 3 columns. Let me insert some record, but you don't have to specify id. As it is a primary key, it is mandatory to provide, but if you're but the auto increment value is already specified as 101, so automatically 101 value will be provided to this column at the beginning itself. Okay, insert into proc table values. Okay, let me insert name and fee. Okay, and at last we will insert a couple of records, or maybe 2 records only, that's fine. name, let's say name I will take A, and fees is something, okay, then B and some fee value, okay, insert it. Now check the record whether the auto increment value is also incre uh, incrementing the value successfully or not. What I mean, select star from prop table, okay. So see here, okay, 101, 102 ID and all those, okay. So now what they are doing, insert some record. I already inserted. Now what I am doing, create one procedure called add procedure ab as int and in. So already I told you, if you want to specify, you can specify in here also, but that is optional. By default parameter types are input only. So creating the procedure, some procedure name, okay, let not take that much big name, let me take it small only, 4, and then just create. So what this procedure will do, it will take the input from you, okay, and insert the record into the table. Clear? Insert the record into this table. So we will see. So it is taking two value AB and BC. Here we are just adding them and we are just printing here. Also we are storing into the sum value into here. Okay. You can say instead of this AB, you can say installment, or you can say installment 1 and installment 2. Okay, and here installment 1, installment 2. Clear? And here I'm just providing as value here, and now let me just create this procedure. Okay, create it. Now change the delimiter. Now I will call this store procedure proc4 and provide the value name, not name, installment 1 and installment 2. Okay, installment 1 is 12,000. Okay, and installment 2 is 1,000. Okay, so you can check the table also. Select star from top table, correct. So yeah, so all these records are inserted. Any doubt into this? So this is the basic use of store procedure. Okay, so we'll see some practical example more. Okay, now what is the use of output parameter? Okay, what is the use of output parameter? Again, it's very simple only. So if you want to return some record, if you want to return some value from this particular procedure, okay, as of now we are not returning anything, we are just performing some operation and printing the statement, we are not returning something. Okay, so if you see here, I am just call uh, proc 1 something, okay, and I'm just passing 10 comma 20, that's it, right? So what it will do, maybe this procedure uh, maybe this procedure will calculate the average, but and once you will call it, it will print the averages. Okay, average is, it is printing some average, but instead of printing, okay, I also want to return some value. I also want to return some value. I want to return this average. So so what we can do, it should return like this. Okay, so once I will call this procedure, immediately it should return this value also. Okay, So in this case, you have to use some output parameter. We will see some example. Okay, what is the use of output parameter? If you want to return some value from the procedure, okay, you can access the result from the procedure after executing that, and you can use the out keyword to define the output parameters. Clear? In in parameter was optional, but out parameter is mandatory, because you have to explicitly say that, boss, this is the variable, this is the parameter is of type out. Okay, so if I want to return something, I have to write out. So I will use this variable only to return some value. Okay, I will use this value only to return some value. Now see here, create or replace procedure p3 a int type. And guys, if I'm not defining, any type of the parameter, I'm not specifying the type of the parameter a int. So what is the type of this parameter, guys? Can you please tell? Quickly respond, please. Input. Okay, so by default is the type of this parameter is input, and here I am just specifying. If you don't want, you don't specify, but default is input type only. Okay, in and result. Okay, and this you have to specify, because if you want to return some value, okay, use this variable. This is the out, because this is the output variable. Okay, and store the information here. You can use inside the procedure also, you can return the value from this. Okay, so if you know some programming language, okay, if you are familiar with some programming language, if I want to return some function, I'm writing public some integer value I want to return, and the method name is emben. Okay, and like this, and if I want to return uh, 10 plus 20, and if I want to return s, so s. Okay, so this is, so that is the advantage. So return, and once you will call this emben method, okay, so you can store some integer value x and emben. Okay, so whatever emben will return, it will store inside this x variable. Clear? So similarly, inside the procedure, okay, if you want to return this value, so you have to define as is of type int. In the case of MySQL, you have to define out as beginning. If in the case of Oracle, you have to define out in the middle. Okay, and you can use like this. Clear? This is some programmatic approach I'm just giving, just to understanding purpose. Okay, so create or replace procedure p3, and already we have seen. Now, so here you see here, now while calling this function, while calling this not function, while calling this stored procedure, you have to define one variable where r1 is of type number in the case of MySQL, sorry, Oracle, and then call this procedure and pass this r1 as output parameter colon r1. So it's a kind of placeholder. So whatever it will return, okay, whatever, so instead of this, while calling this procedure, okay, so you have to pass some blank parameter also. At the time of calling this procedure, you have to pass this value, actual values a, actual value of a, actual value of b. Also you have to pass some temporary variable to hold this result value, right? So whatever it will return, that value you want to store inside this variable. So that variable is r1, I am passing here colon r1. So this is the way, and at last you can print r1, so it will give you the result. Use that variable as colon r1. Try to insert the record in the sum table using this variable. Clear? So now what is the use? What is the use actually? So sometime I want to, at the time of inserting, generally I'm inserting some records into the table. So I know different parameters. I want to store the average also in the same line, in the same insert statement. I want to store the average value. So what I will do, I will I will define this variable. I will call this store procedure by calling those values 10 comma 20, whatever I'm already having, right? And I will pass this variable, and this r1 now whenever whenever you will insert, right, whenever you will insert into customer table, suppose I want to insert the record into customer values, and some values I am writing, okay, some values I'm providing, I already knew, that's why I'm providing, but I don't know the average value. So now I know what is the I know after calling this procedure the r1 value. So like this you can insert. So this is the advantage of defining the output output parameter. Okay, so we'll see some example here. some some procedures, let's take it as some block. Then result as I am taking as output as begin, and it is just calculating the result, and I'm storing this into as variable and calling this. Okay, and at last I'm just printing here. So any doubt in the case of MySQL how you can use? So out you have to write at beginning. Okay, in you have to write at beginning if you want to specify in. Otherwise you can ignore also. So create procedure P4. Okay, A comma B comma S, and this you want to, you know, you want to return some value. So that's why you are defining this S parameter as out. So one output parameter is S. Set S is equal to A plus B. You are printing it, and that's it. And this variable will return this value. So already we are storing this variable. Already we are storing the value of this calculation into S variable. Okay, and then so here set at the rate r1 is equal to 0, call this procedure and at the rate r1. Okay, and at last you can see what is the value inside this at the rate r1. So wherever you want to use this some value you can use it, if you, whether you want to insert the record, whether you want to update the record, delete, okay, wherever you want to use this you can use at the rate r1. Okay, now let me just create this procedure. So what we will do now, first we will change the delimiter dollar, delimiter dollar something. Okay, now create procedure P4, create procedure P, P4 is already there, P5, and if you want to specify you can specify or you can ignore. Let me specify now. A int, now in, okay, B is of type int, and out, and one variable result of type int, and here now I'm begin. I want to calculate average. Suppose I want to calculate average. This procedure will calculate the average. So what I will do, declare declare sum of type int, and then again declare av is of type int. Now what I will do, set sm is equal to, uh, a plus b. Okay, and then set, okay, so unnecessarily I have taken this ab variable. Okay, no problem, because I am already having the output variable result. Okay, is equal to sum divided by 3 colon. Now I want to just print, select result as average, okay, and that's it. And dollar. Clear? So this is how your procedure is created. Now I want to call this procedure. Okay, call procedure 5. So two values you pass two values for 13 and 45. But if you will not, okay, so I haven't changed the delimiter value, so I have to use dollar only. So it will give you the error, incorrect number of argument. Okay, there is one more argument which is required, that is output variable, that always you have to pass some temporary variable you have to pass. Now define some variable, set av. Okay, set av, and let me just see. Yeah, so initialize it with 0. I don't know what is the value inside this, but before that let me just change this delimiter to colon, and then you specify set at the rate av is equal to 0. Now what we will do, we will call procedure 5 13 comma 45 comma at the rate av. Okay, clear? So now we will see select. To print the statement in MySQL, what is the command? Select av, right? So this is how. And this av already, now you have this av. Okay, so you can use wherever you want. If you want to if you want to insert some record into customer table and you want to provide some average, you know what and all the values already you provided into while calling this stored procedure. After that you will get the average. This average you want to insert it everywhere in that particular table, so this variable you can use it later. Clear? So that is how you can define the output parameter. Any confusion into this, guys? Can you please respond? Okay, so let discuss tomorrow only. Okay, let's discuss tomorrow this input and output parameter. I'll discuss tomorrow because I am not feeling well. Okay, so let me stop this